What if I told you that hundreds of thousands of Americans are quietly packing up their lives and fleeing to Canada? No, it's not a movie. This is real life in 2025. Skyrocketing living costs, political chaos, healthcare nightmares. Americans are done waiting. And guess what? Canada has opened the door wide. Before we get into this eye-opening exposé, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about America's future. In 2025, a silent migration is underway. While mainstream media downplays the numbers, immigration data tells a different story. In the first quarter of this year alone, over 250,000 Americans applied for Canadian residency, a 68% increase compared to 2024. Why? Let's break it down. Political instability, healthcare failures, economic uncertainty, social divisions. These aren't fringe concerns. These are daily realities for millions. From California to Texas, Florida to New York, people are saying, "I've had enough." But why Canada? Why now? Let's talk politics, because you can't escape this story without diving into America's ideological meltdown. Blue versus red, libertarian versus extremist, every dinner table, every school board meeting, every online space, infected with tribal rage. The 2024 US election was supposed to heal the nation. Instead, it tore it apart. Mass protests, riots in swing states, court cases that made headlines globally, Canadians watched in disbelief. And Americans? Many began searching how to move to Canada on Google, a phrase that spiked by 300% post-election. Imagine paying $1,200 a month for health insurance, only to still be one diagnosis away from bankruptcy. In 2025, nearly 1 in 4 Americans remain uninsured or underinsured. Compare that to Canada, where citizens get free doctor visits, emergency surgery coverage, mental health support programs, and affordable prescriptions. It's not perfect, but ask any American who crossed the border recently, and they'll tell you, it's like stepping into a different universe. In Canada, I didn't have to choose between chemo and groceries. Have you checked housing prices in San Francisco lately? Or tried renting a one-bedroom in Manhattan? In the United States, median rent hit a record-breaking $2,140 in 2025. In comparison, Halifax, $1,210, Winnipeg, $1,080, Montreal, $1,150. It's not just rent, it's gas, groceries, childcare, college tuition. Americans are working longer hours just to survive, not thrive. The Canadian dollar may be weaker, but the quality of life, stronger. And that's why people are leaving the so-called land of opportunity for the Great White North. California wildfires, Florida hurricanes, Midwest droughts. 2025 marked the most extreme weather events in United States history, and it's just the beginning. Climate scientists warn that the southern half of the United States could become functionally unlivable within 2 decades. And guess which country is the climate winner? Canada. With vast freshwater reserves, temperate weather, and proactive green policies, Canada is becoming the #1 destination for climate migrants. That includes Americans. It's impossible to ignore this next reason: violence. 2025 is on track to break last year's record for mass shootings in the United States. Schools, malls, movie theaters, no place feels safe anymore. Meanwhile, Canada, where gun ownership is far more restricted, reports a fraction of those tragedies. I didn't realize how tense I was all the time. Until I lived in Toronto for a week. Safety isn't just a luxury, it's a human right, and more Americans are waking up to that fact. From Roe v. Wade's downfall to rising hate crimes, the U.S. has seen a rollback of rights that once seemed unshakable. In 2025, 11 states have banned abortion entirely. Anti-LGBTQ+ laws have surged. Books are being banned in schools and libraries. Canada, in contrast, upholds abortion as healthcare. It protects LGBTQ+ rights, it funds diversity programs. It's not perfect. But when you're being denied fundamental rights at home, perfection isn't the goal, safety is. Let's face it, Americans live to work. Canadians work to live. In 2025, US workers still don't have guaranteed paid vacation. Canadians enjoy 2 to 4 weeks minimum, plus paid parental leave. And culturally, Canadians take their downtime seriously. Less grind, less burnout, more time for life. If you're a millennial or Gen Z worker, the choice is obvious. No wonder tech workers, creatives, and even teachers are heading north. Ever heard this before? You can be anything you want in America, but in 2025, what does that really cost? $74,000 in student loans, $3,200 a month rent in major cities, crippling medical debt. Meanwhile, Canadian universities cost a fraction, and education quality remains high. Plus, while taxes are often used to scare Americans from moving, the truth is, many middle-class Canadians pay the same or less in total taxes, but get far more in return. So, what's the better deal? It's not just the rich, not just liberals, not just young people. In 2025, the American exodus includes retirees looking for affordable health care, families seeking safer schools, remote workers tired of US burnout culture, and creatives finding community and, well, sanity. A growing number of Americans are even taking advantage of dual citizenship loopholes, ancestry visas, and Canadian job offers. The demand is so high that immigration lawyers in Vancouver are booked for months. Here's what you need to know if you're considering the move. Step 1. Determine your eligibility. Express entry, that's for skilled workers. There's also provincial nominee programs, family sponsorship, and student visa pathways. Step 2. Start saving. You'll need to cover application fees, settlement funds, and relocation costs. Step 3. Learn about Canadian life. Think weather, taxes, healthcare registration, all that important stuff. And most importantly, don't wait. Immigration caps are being reached faster each year. Of course, not everyone is happy about this migration. American conservatives call it unpatriotic. Some Canadians fear rising housing costs. And yeah, many migrants experience culture shock. But ask most American expats in Canada and they'll tell you, leaving was the hardest decision, but staying, that's what broke me. Controversial? Maybe, but sometimes the truth is. The world is watching. And the American dream? It might be shifting borders. What happens when more of America's brightest minds, most passionate citizens and working families say goodbye? What does that mean for the United States economy? For its global image? For its democracy? We're watching a social shift that will define this decade. You've just heard the truth many don't want to admit. Americans aren't just visiting Canada anymore, they're escaping to it. For safety, for sanity, for a shot at something better. This isn't just about borders, it's about belief in a future that works for everyone. If this video opened your eyes, drop a comment. Tell us your thoughts. Are you thinking about leaving the United States? Or do you believe in staying and fighting? Let's talk about it in the comments.